Okay, so um, I want to show you also the Twitter situation because I know some of y'all are asking about that. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, Twitter. What is it? Some people are very familiar with Twitter, others are not, and that is okay. Like I said before, you can create a Twitter account just for this class. I don't necessarily expect you to have, connect your personal Twitter unless you feel comfortable with that. Um, okay, so part of the reason why I think Twitter is cool is, and I use, so my part of my career is using social media to engage the public about research, about health topics, and just educating people using social media. And so I do want to kind of, as a skill set, help you all to use that because it's really going to be useful for you throughout your career, no matter what discipline you're in. If you're in the sciences, if you're in political science, if you go into economics, if you go into teaching, um, any business, all of those things, using social media as a tool for communication will be very useful, not just as a consumer. Like everybody knows how to post to Instagram, everybody knows how to post to Facebook, but how do you create content, right? And so part of the approach that I want to teach you all is having intellectual conversations in an approachable way on social media. Okay, so let me go to my profile. Okay, so obviously my account is _ Allison Matthews. Okay, so let me move this. Okay, so _ Allison Matthews. So everybody should follow me. In order to create your own account, you can okay, so here's manage accounts, add an existing account. Haha. Okay, hold on. Let me figure it out. Okay, so I think I need to log out first. Log out. Yes. Just so I can show you how to log out of all accounts. Yes. I also manage the Maya Angelou Center for Health Equity's social media. I actually manage quite a few social media accounts. But okay, so if you want to sign up, you just type in a username. This will be test soc 151 section J. And then you have to connect it to a phone number. So I'll just connect it to my business phone number. Okay. And then my birthday, for everybody who cares, is January 24th, 1985. Yes, yes, yes. I am getting up there in age. Okay. So then they're going to give you a verification code. Because that's a business number, I probably won't get the text, but let's see. No, I don't get the text. So, so connect it to something that you can get a text message. And then once you create your account, you should follow me. And so the idea also is that, let's see, let me get out of this. So I'm going to log back in. Okay. So the idea is that you'll be able to, we'll be able to use the section J hashtag to participate in conversation. So the way that you're going to be able to keep up with everybody else's conversation is I'm going to, you can follow a specific hashtag. Let's see. So if we do section J, haha. So this is somebody's old Twitter, like other classes have used this, so which is cool, but you can kind of see that all the text, all the tweets are super old. So, obviously anything that happens after 2020 will be from us. So actually I might customize this a little bit more and say Soch 151. Okay, so so we'll use this one, Soch 151 section J. And then you should be able to save that search so that anytime you can follow it. Okay, so then when I tweet, I want you to use that hashtag every time. Welcome to sociology. This will be fun. Okay, so then I tweet and then it should, let me refresh and see it pops up here in the hashtag. So I will be able to see, and all of us will be able to see all the tweets according to that hashtag. Okay. So the idea is also, like, I follow a lot of interesting people on Twitter, many academics, and I also follow like news outlets and just funny stuff too, which I'm sure everybody does. And so this is also a great way for you to kind of get connected to some of the conversation that's happening, sociological conversation that's happening, in the world. So some of the ones that I follow are Diverse Scholars, Black Academia. I don't know if they're still doing this one, but they may still be doing this one. This one is kind of old. Yeah, they don't use this one anymore. Okay, so I use Hip Hop Ed. So this one is like, it connects what's happening in hip hop and popular culture to social and cultural conversations, things that are happening in the news, things that are happening in popular culture. And they do a lot of kind of sharing information, resources, news articles, and opinions. And this is kind of a combination of people who are just interested in hip hop as well as people who are scholars, right? The other one that I would suggest that you follow would be these are some people that I know personally. Dr. Sandy Darity is an economist. So he has 41,000 followers. That's crazy. So he's an economist at Duke University. And I knew him in undergrad doing a summer research program at UNC Chapel Hill. So he is like one of the leading economists in the country, and he shares a lot of stuff about wealth inequality and racial wealth gap, and kind of thinking about, he does a lot on reparations and that kind of thing. So this is just, I think he's a good person to follow just to get more information and resources. I would also follow so Mark Anthony Neal is another scholar uh, who's a Duke University professor, and he does a lot on like culture, popular culture, music, analysis of music, and what's happening and so he does an analysis of that, right? So he uses that sociological kind of approach to analyzing popular culture. And so he's another good person to follow. I would say um, Hedwig Lee is another person that I follow who's a sociologist at Washington University of St. Louis. And she does, so she's a demographer. So she uses data from, demographic data, race, age, income, kind of education, all of those kind of that data to better understand health outcomes, health disparities, kind of disparities in the criminal justice system and other things. So she tweets a lot and is pretty active, and I also know her personally. So that would be another person to get connected to and follow. And so she tweets a lot. And so these are also good examples of what I'm talking about when I'm saying, share tweets, share articles, and then an analysis of like, how does that connect to our, what's happening in our textbook. And so say, for example, she found an article, dermatology has a problem with skin color. Okay, so maybe we have a chapter where we talk about something like that, about health disparities in healthcare or something like that. And then you can make a comment on, this article, I thought it was great because this, or I disagree because of this, but connect it to the textbook, connect it to the conversations that we're having, so that, and sharing it and saying, oh, this seems relevant for this reason. So these are kind of examples, and then using the hashtag in each one of your tweets so that it can get connected to our course hashtag. So for example, here's another one. To be sure that U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico are part of the United States, but every hurricane season, these territories seem very much apart from the mainland, facing impending disaster, often unprotected, unnoticed. So that's kind of an opinion of hers, but it also is tying back to, this analysis of like, what is the American identity, right? And why are the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, they're colonies basically of the United States? How and why are they disconnected from the mainland, right? And and then connecting that to something in the textbook, maybe that a new terminology that you learned, or a new section where we're talking about the economics of, having these territories, and how does that play on to racial dynamics of why there are certain territories that get more attention than others. Just thinking about it, and what are the economic implications of that, and how does our relationship with these territories change based on the leadership in this country. And so those are kinds of ways that you can connect something that's happening in the world, right? Like a hurricane, and then what's happening in our textbook. Okay. Those are just some suggestions on people to follow. You don't have to follow those people. I think it's, it's just suggestions. And then I would also, here's another one that I know of, Liz Wayne, Professor Liz Wayne, who's an assistant professor at Carnegie Mellon. She's a chemist, a kind of pharmacy. She does research on how to create targeted medications to address cancer. That's about as far as I could go on what she does in her research. But she also does a lot around STEM, and so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and connecting that to what's happening in popular culture in the media. So, and she's also kind of tries to help. She talks about her experiences in academic and those kinds of things. So those are a couple that I would suggest. Let me know if you come across other people that you think are interesting that you would like to that you think we should follow. Please share that also in our Twitter hashtag. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions about Twitter.